right, what's up, everybody? It's Nicole Pellegrino here, your host of the all-new podcast, Long Story Short with Nicole Pellegrino. I am broadcasting to you from my bed. I'm sweating. I'm really sweaty. I forgot to adjust the air conditioning right before this, but we're just going to roll with it because I'm in position. I have cameras set up. I have my equipment all set up, and I'm raring to go. It feels crazy that I'm nervous to record this podcast episode because, again, I don't have an audience, a live audience right now, but I'm here. It's my new podcast. Listen, I am so excited. If you are tuning in right now, thank you in advance. Before I get into explaining this podcast, what it's going to be and what you guys can expect, and like the update of me in the podcasting world, because I'm back. Before I get into all that, I need to give you a status update of like my current state of mind and my current state of the union. Sweat aside, I am raring on all cylinders. What's the saying that they say? Firing on all cylinders. I don't know if I'm using that saying correctly right now, but let's just say I'm exhausted. I got back this past weekend from volunteering at experience camps. If you don't know what that is, it's an amazing organization. It's a 1-week free camp every summer for grieving children. It makes me sound like Mother Teresa when I say that I volunteer there because just the explanation of it sounds like that, but it's for children who are grieving the death of a parent or a sibling or a primary caregiver. I volunteered there for the past 4 summers. I love that organization so much, but I will say it's a very exhausting week. I was 26 weeks pregnant, 26 weeks, which we'll get into. But I was volunteering at this camp, pregnant, end of my second trimester, for the entire week, sleeping in a bunk with a bunch of 14 and 15-year-olds, and my social battery is at an all-time dead, okay? No pun intended, because it's a grief camp, you know? Okay, I can say that because my mom is dead, so yeah. But yeah, so I'm exhausted from that. All the other volunteers and counselors say that you kind of get like an emotional hangover after that. And that might be why I'm actually sitting down to finally record this podcast episode, because this has been such a long time coming. And I think like after that week, and I'm having horrible anxiety today. My anxiety's been like decent lately. It's been behaving. Today, I'm an anxious wreck, and I don't know exactly why. Well, I kind of do, but I've just been very anxious. And so I think the exhaustion and anxiety are mixing together to give the perfect cocktail to push me to finally record this first episode. And to top it off, I couldn't fall asleep last night. I fell asleep at like 1:30 a.m., which if you know me, that's so late for me. And I woke up at the crack of dawn. If I'm not forming sentences in this episode, I apologize in advance, but nothing new there. However, I do find that sometimes I really perform and function best at my most chaotic times. I'm sure plenty of you can sort of relate to that in a very chaotic way. So yeah, no better time like the present. No, but I'm very excited to be doing this with you guys. I scarfed down lunch before this and I'm very pregnant. So if I stop to burp, that's what I'm doing. You might be wondering, why is Nicole Pellegrino launching yet a third podcast? That was supposed to be like a Moira Rose voice. I don't know if anybody caught on. Why am I doing this? You know, I've been in the podcasting world before. Third time's a charm. Here's the thing. I have realized throughout the past couple years, really, I love podcasting. Am I an expert at it? Heck no. Am I really even good at it? Some might say no. I don't know what good at podcasting even means anymore, okay? Anybody can pick up a mic and yap. But I just love doing it. I love yapping in the mic. I love creating videos online, and I love doing short form content and funny little skits for you guys. But this allows me to get so much deeper. And I'm at a point in my life where I need to get deep. I need my community. I need fellow pregnant women. I need moms. I need non-moms. I need women, mainly. We don't really need men here. We need women to connect with. And podcasting has always allowed me to do that with you guys best in the past. So that's why I'm doing this. Another reason, this is a solo episode. This is just me talking straight to you. I'm looking at 2 different cameras because knowing my luck, one of them is going to die at some point. So TBD if I'm looking at you or not. But this is just me solo episoding with you. This is my first ever solo episode, believe it or not. This ain't my first podcasting rodeo, but it is my first solo episode, so we'll see how it goes. This podcast, though, I don't want you guys to think it's going to be me yapping a mic every week at you. It's going to be me talking to guests, interviewing guests. It's really going to be driven by you guys. I want your input on what this podcast should be. I have a vision. I have an idea. I have guests lined up. I have so many exciting episodes planned for you all, but I want your input. You know, if you're like, yeah, no, F that, we don't want an episode about that topic, then guess who won't do it? Well, I still might. I don't know. We'll see. I really want your suggestions and your input. Why do I feel like I'm screaming into the microphone right now? Probably have to turn that down. I'm sitting in my bed. Sean, my old coworker, the OGs know Sean because I've podcasted with him before. He came over. He made me buy all this expensive podcast equipment. I don't even know how to work it, you guys. I'm good at like editing podcast episodes. Like once the episode's done and it's physically in the computer, I'm really good at taking it and doing what it needs to be done with it from there. As for the plugging in cords, plugging in a microphone, pressing record, that whole aspect, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, okay? Sean showed me, and my pregnancy brain completely went in one ear, out the other. I forgot how to do all of this. So we're going to be working out the kinks, because this is a self-produced show for now, at least. Okay, but yeah, I'm really excited to have guests on in the future. I love interviewing people. I used to be like really bad at it when I was like hosting Betches Brides back in the day, but throughout time, I like to think I've become a more self-aware, better listener to others, and it's made me a better interviewer. And I've gotten like pretty good, if I do say so, but I always welcome your feedback, okay? Just keep it nice, would ya? One of the main reasons I'm really excited for this podcast, it's going to be about a variety of topics, okay? Obviously, it's going to be about being pregnant. It's going to be about IVF, which we will get into my whole experience and your guys' experience on that. It's going to be about motherhood and parenting, because I don't know a lot of other people who would launch a podcast during their 3rd trimester of pregnancy. But this girl would. I'm insane, okay? But honestly, there's no better time like the present. And I need you guys now more than ever to vent about pregnancy and to help usher me into this new chapter of being a mother, because I don't feel ready at all, okay? I don't think I ever will. But I think with your guys' help and just having you as my community, I will feel more ready eventually, because November's rolling around really quickly. I think this is the best time to be launching a podcast, if you ask me. More pregnant women should launch a big project during their 3rd trimester, you know, right before they give birth. TBD when exactly this will get released. I'm hoping for sooner than later. This is the first episode. I've already, weeks ago, recorded the 2nd episode, which you guys will hear with the one and only Jenna Hunt, my sister, who we all know and love. She's a mom of 2. She opens up about something huge that she hasn't told like anybody else in that episode, and I'm really proud of her for doing that. I will say that episode was a shit show because my 5-year-old nephew was running in the room every 3 seconds. You will be hearing some of that chaos, but you know, that's real life. And I haven't edited that episode yet, so I'm honestly scared too, because if it's really, really bad and distracting, I might not release it, but we'll see. And if I don't release that, then I can't release this whole part talking about it. No, but in all seriousness, I am so excited to be back in the podcasting world. I know this is my 3rd try at it, 3rd whack at it, but I'm really excited for this one. This is me. I'm doing it all on my own, to my own agenda, and I really do plan on being in this one for the long haul, okay? I want to get really vulnerable with you guys. I want to make this a space where we're all helping each other out, especially in this crazy phase of life. Oh, I wanted to tell you about more what it's going to be about. I mentioned like 3 topics and then moved on. See, that's what I do. I need a script, okay? But I'll never go from a script, and you guys know that, okay? You can expect me to keep it real. I mentioned parenting, motherhood, all that stuff. It's also going to be about just like career. I really want to be motivated, whether you're a mom, whether you're not a mom. I want to talk about like career stuff. How did certain people make it to where they are? I love that woo-woo shit. Let me just tell you. I want to talk about health, beauty, lifestyle. I don't know. I like hearing about other people's morning routines and what they're doing to stay sane. Mental health. That's a huge topic that I'm not qualified to discuss at all, but I am qualified to vent about my experience with it and talk to others about their experiences. Relationships. Oh my God. I could talk about relationships for freaking ever. I feel like I have at this point on the internet. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about family dynamics, okay? My family's going to listen to this and be like, no, you don't, bitch. But I do. I really do, without, getting too personal with that, because my family, there can be drama with them. But what family doesn't have a little bit of drama, It keeps things spicy. It keeps things exciting. I want to talk about entertainment, you guys. All right, right now, while we're recording this, we are watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I know all of you are as well. And Belly, by the time this comes out, this won't be a spoiler, so don't come for me. Belly is not marrying Jeremiah, which we all knew would happen anyways, thank God. But we officially know that. So episode 8 of that just came out, if that's telling you where we are in recording this at all. But I want to discuss entertainment with you all. I want to talk about, what else did I not mention? Oh, literally everything. Horoscopes. I know jack shit about horoscopes, okay? I just know that I'm a Scorpio. I don't even know my rising moon sign and stuff like that, because no one on planet Earth can figure out what time Nicole Pellegrino was born. The only person who would know that is my mom, and she's no longer with us. So I've tried to locate the birth certificate. That's been a whole saga. They sent me a birth certificate a couple months ago. There's no birth time on it. It's just like, was I even born, Was there even a time that I was born? Or am I just a figment of your imagination? I don't know. All right, let's get into a quick State of the Union pregnancy update. Now that you know about what to expect on this podcast. And honestly, let me know if you guys have any questions. I feel like I went all over the place with that explanation. I promise you it's going to be a good time. We're going to laugh. We're going to have intentionally funny people on to make us laugh, because laughter is the best medicine, as they say. Oh, because why take life so seriously? You know what I mean? I always say that's how I was raised. Let's talk about my body and my mind and where we are in our pregnancies, which I feel like a lot of people that follow me on Instagram and TikTok and wherever the heck else I am on the internet actually are in the same stage of pregnancy as me, or very similar, which is very exciting. You guys know I said I was recording this at 27 weeks. That is about to be in the 3rd trimester. Just for those of you who don't know, I did IVF, my husband and I. We were trying to have a baby for over 2 years. It was a journey. It was a journey to get here. We froze embryos last fall in October and November. Got a little batch of embryos, kept them on ice for a minute, and then in March we decided to transfer one, and we are very, very fortunate to say that it was a success. I definitely want to deep dive into IVF whenever I do some sort of Q&A, AMA thing. That's the most questions I get, is all about my experience doing IVF. I actually just recorded a podcast episode on Sarah Merrill's podcast. I don't know if you guys follow her. She's the founder of Big Kid Problems, this hilarious platform. And her podcast is called Bottle Service. And I just did a whole deep dive episode on that show, so definitely go check that out. But I still want to talk about it here because I just feel like I could talk about that endlessly. And there are so many of you out there that are going through fertility struggles and having to do IVF and having to do egg retrieval after egg retrieval and freeze embryos and freeze eggs. And I just want to talk about it, not from an expert point of view, that's for sure, but just from my experience. The AC is pissing me off so much right now because now it's loud and I hate that for me, but whatever. That's what this fancy microphone is for, to keep noise like that out. So yeah, like I said, I will definitely talk all about IVF in the future. I want to have doctors on. I want to have the famous Navi on, my sister-in-law, who I reference all the time on every platform on the internet because I'm obsessed with her and she's an OBGYN. I do have to say, I know I talk a lot about being pregnant and I talk a lot about that on my Instagram, on TikTok, and now I will here on this podcast. And so if you are struggling with fertility in any way, shape, or form, I am so sorry and my heart goes out to you, and feel free to mute me, block me, unfollow me, whatever you need to do to get me and my yapping about pregnancy out of your mind, because I know how hard that can be when you are going through it and you feel so hopeless and you see all the other people out there getting pregnant and it's just that content is shoved in your face, and it can be obnoxious and it can be annoying and it can make you feel even worse about your situation. So yeah, I promise to not make this whole podcast about pregnancy. Like the whole thing will not be like Nicole's pregnant at all times, you know? Let's do a little first trimester recap. I don't know how long this episode's going to be, but I'm just going on. I made a little outline for you guys, so I'm trying to stay organized, okay? First trimester started right away, as they do in March. IVF's different though, because you when you find out that the transfer worked, you're already at 5 weeks, I want to say. So symptoms for me didn't really start until around week 6, I want to say. I've never been a nauseous person. My stomach is made of steel usually. First trimester was completely different. I said to myself, wow, this is new. Nicole, you don't want to eat food all of a sudden. And I had to eat food because if you don't eat when you feel nauseous during your first trimester, then you feel even more nauseous. It's a vicious cycle. You don't want to eat food, but you need to eat food. Every single day, I was like, what can I stomach today? I'd wake up feeling nauseous. I would get a really bad bout of nausea at 4 p.m. I had to stuff my face before that because after 4 p.m., it's really hard to figure out what I could stomach. I was just eating what I could to get by. Your typical buttery bagels, mac and cheese, fresh, ice cold, refrigerated fruit, refreshing fruit. That's all I wanted. I was slurping down pineapples. The food aversions for me was the craziest thing. Now, I wasn't throwing up. I do hear that there's a lot of you out there that are just yakking 24/7, especially during that first trimester. I wasn't throwing up. I did once, which is so unlike me. And it's because Louie, my dog, threw up in the apartment and I smelled it, thus triggered my response to the smell, which normally if I smell dog throw up, I'm not going to then throw up myself, but pregnant me does. So that was fun. We had a little family throw up session, but I got your other typical things. One big thing for me in the beginning, my skin in many ways. I'm talking acne. I had hormonal acne right away. It's since cleared up so much. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's also going to be a topic on this podcast, is skin, because I could talk about skin forever. My family always says I should have been a dermatologist, Yeah, but I have too much ADHD to do med school. Are you kidding me? My skin was breaking out right away. My skin was itching. It was giving fleas. I was just an itchy girl. Now, I'm starting to get some of those symptoms again, which we'll get to. The skin is starting to itch again. I'm getting rashes in every crevice. Oh, the exhaustion is real. That's every day at 3 p.m. I would just my body would just go to bed. I would sit down on the couch and just fall asleep around 2, 3. I'm not a napper. I have way too much anxiety to nap. I believe that an adult human being should be sleeping at night. There is no time in the day to be taking an afternoon nap. For those of you that are out there and do the afternoon nap, I commend you and more power to you. I'm not an afternoon napper. I power through, and then my philosophy is just go to bed a little earlier. However, pregnancy, whole different story. Girl, you nap. You nap when you need to, okay? You take those naps. Take them proudly. Your body's working overtime. Oh, a fun little thing for me has been the nasal issues of it all during this pregnancy. My nose has been clogged the entire pregnancy, still to this day. At 27 weeks, I am blowing out, not to get too graphic, but like there's blood happening in the nose. I don't know if others are feeling that, but it's all related. Everything that your body does during pregnancy is related to pregnancy. It's crazy. When you Google it, it's like, oh, that's another symptom from all the hormonal changes. So yeah, bloody noses, that's been fun. Other than that, your typical sore boobs, mood swings. But as we know, my baseline is a moody bitch, okay? So me having mood swings, we're used to it. Mike was like, honestly, you've been good compared to like your luteal phase, your period. I've been a breeze. But yeah, the mood swings are real. Oh, the funniest thing was, aside from food aversions, I posted on my Instagram about having aversions to items and things, like the color yellow, for instance. I was wearing a lot of yellow right when I was getting bad symptoms during my first trimester. Ever since then, can't look at the color the same. Used to be one of my favorite colors. I really leaned into the butter yellow fashion of spring. I have a sweat set from The Gap. It's really cute. It's a little butter yellow sweatpants and sweatshirt that I was wearing a lot in the beginning. I can't look at that thing the same. I think I'm going to have to get rid of it. I can't put it on without getting nauseous. The color butter yellow, I don't think will ever be the same for me. And a lot of you were giving me your aversions to things. Like some of you were like, the Wicked soundtrack, because that was coming out when you were having your symptoms. A lot of you were like, Dawn dish soap, Condemned. It was like hand soap, your husband's, like all the things that you were having aversions to. Oh my God, it was so funny. I forget what the other things were, but we'll do a little segment on that where I'll share funny aversions because it was just making me laugh so hard. Somebody was like, Disney. Like just an aversion to Disney, like the franchise, the world. I don't even know, but it was really funny. Let's talk second trimester really quickly. At about week 11, things started looking up, okay? I was starting to have more energy, as they say one does typically during the second trimester. The naps were less frequent. However, whoever said the words, "you have so much energy," during the second trimester was so mistakenly wrong, okay? That's a myth. You don't have so much energy this whole year. I feel like I've been pregnant literally all of 2025. I basically have, because January and February didn't really count. I've been tired this entire time. I'm obviously more exhausted than I ever have been before. Pregnant Nicole is more tired than non-pregnant Nicole. That's just how it's gonna be, okay? I actually have been having bad, the whole time pregnancy insomnia, where I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm up for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then I go back to bed, but then that ruins my whole routine because I wanted to wake up earlier. I will say somebody recommended Unisom, and that has been working very well to keep me asleep for the most part. But I don't take it every single night because, I'm weird about taking something every single day, especially when it helps with sleep. I've always been weird about taking a sleep aid every night. I don't know. I might have to up that intake because it helps. So yeah, the second trimester energy thing is a myth. One thing that did happen, which I mentioned earlier, my skin cleared up. So that's good. I think a lot of that is due to the products that I found that are working. Shout out to ClearStem. I did get to work with them on a partnership, but this ain't sponsored. Like we know, I really just like their products. I can do a whole pregnancy skincare routine deep dive later, but they have this serum. It's called Clarity with mandelic acid that I really think helped clear up the texture and stuff. And that ingredient alone has just helped me. And I know pregnant women love it. Yeah, I'm not nauseous anymore. Well, that's a lie. This is a recap of my second trimester. I wasn't nauseous as of this past week. Nausea came back a little bit, which has not been fun. But we'll talk about that. A lot of you on Instagram were like, trust me, I got nauseous again around like 27 or like 31 weeks. A lot of you said. Second trimester, I went to Europe. I was gallivanting around Italy and Croatia, which we can also recap that trip at some point if you guys want. I do want to talk about travel on this podcast too, because just love traveling and seeing the world. I don't think I would have been able to gallivant around Europe during my first trimester. I am going to be going on a baby moon in a couple weeks to the south of France for the first time ever, which I'm so excited about. So I'll keep you guys posted on that experience. I don't know, second trimester was just filled with a lot of prep for the baby, which got overwhelming at times and is still getting overwhelming. Those of you pregnant women out there know you're researching all the time. Making the registry is the hardest thing in the world, okay? Making your baby registry is so overwhelming. There's so much stuff you have to add to it. Not to mention for the decluttering, a girl who likes to declutter it a good amount, it's like all the stuff is just piling up and arriving. We have so many boxes that we haven't even opened. Am I grateful for it all? Yes, extremely. But it's just like stuff overload. You feel like you need to be buying so much stuff for the baby when it's like you do, but you also, I hear you don't. I don't know. But people are like, just get the bare necessities. And then the bare necessities is a list of like 150 items that you need. And I'm like, okay, like what? And then you also want some of the cute stuff and clothes and whatnot. That's not a, quote, bare necessity. I'll never forget. It was like a month ago or so. I was researching strollers for a good 48 hours straight. This was on top of interviewing night nurses during all of that time. We were interviewing night nurses for a month. It was nuts, you guys. I will go into that as well at some point. We finally found one. We're doing like a part-time situation, 2-3 nights a week. I'm very excited for the extra hands. We're gonna get into all this in this podcast, okay? We're gonna get into the help aspect and lack thereof. But yeah, so I remember I was doing a lot of stroller research, interviewing night nurses. It was like 2 full days straight. I feel like I neglected my social life, my career, everything. I was just like baby mode, baby prep mode. And I'll never forget, all of a sudden one day, Mike's up in his little alcove typing away, as you guys see in my videos, working away on his computer, doing his career. And I just like got so mad at him out of nowhere. I was like, I had to prep for this baby. I had to start prepping before this baby was even inside me. Okay, like mentally I had to start. Physically, I'm now prepping for the baby. The man, yes, they help research and they help prep and they help do things, but like the man just gets to go about their daily life and their daily career while the woman is expected to do all of that with this added layer of a baby coming on top of it. You know what I mean? And Mike's been wonderful. Like Mike is wonderful. You guys know I am his child. He cooks, he cleans, he does the bills, he does everything, okay? I would not be functioning without him. Very codependent. And I'll admit that. In some ways, not in always. When it comes to this baby prep, that man doesn't know what's on the registry. That man doesn't know the difference between the Swiv, the Triv, the Mix, the Next, the whatever strollers. I've been doing a lot of the baby prep. And that's fine. I'm not like mad at him for that. It is what it is. And I kind of had a meltdown at him. And then he was like, well, let me know what you've done so I can jump in and take initiative and fill in the holes. And then I got even madder because I was like, now you're making me mentally delegate and assign things before you can just take initiative yourself. And he's like, well, I'm not going to research a ton of strollers if you've already done the research. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if I've done the research. You do it too, So I anticipate more trouble in paradise in the future. But no, he's been great. He really has. Okay. I could talk about like the mental load that the woman has to carry and how to like combat that. That could be a whole podcast, okay, with that as the main topic, because I feel like we could all talk about that forever. So we will. We'll get into it. let's get into a little state of the union going forward, going into my third trimester. Where are we right in this moment? Nesting is definitely a thing. I'm going by room. You guys, I talked to a professional organizer. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment and I can't even organize it myself. She's coming over, I think next week, to do a consult. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm hoping it goes well because honestly, my brain, I need a professional up in here. I am sitting next to a pile of clothes the size of Mount Kilimanjaro because I got rid of our dressers in our bedroom without even ordering another one. I said, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, listed it for money. And then I said, you know what? Actually, just come pick it up. Come get it out of my hands. Facebook Marketplace, really great. So yeah, we're waiting on more dressers to come in so that we can actually live out of one instead of out of a pile. Like I said, I'm getting overwhelmed with all the baby stuff, but it's a good thing because once I do unpack everything and put it in its necessary place, I think we'll be in a good spot. I'm really excited about the nursery. That is one thing I cannot wait to show you guys and go into because I am working on something really exciting with that. And it's going to be the cutest room in the entire house, which I'm like a little jealous of this baby for. Still don't have a baby name. We have a top 5, I will say, but we have not decided. We'll get into names later though, because that's something I love talking about. I've been getting a lot of people's opinions, which like I don't recommend doing because people will really let you know when they don't like a name. And I don't let their opinions affect my liking of the name. Mike does though. He gets a little swayed, which then makes me a little mad because I'm like, well, you loved that name 5 minutes ago and suddenly because so-and-so isn't crazy about it, you don't love it. So this is why couples don't tell their baby names, okay? This is why you don't show people your wedding dress before you get married because people are bad liars and people will tell you how they feel, but like whatever. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not, but we'll get into names more in the future. One of the things I am doing is I'm planning my own baby shower. I posted about this on Insta stories or whatever, and a lot of you were like, why would you do that? Here's the thing. I have a very supportive handful of family members and friends who are all offering to take on things and chip in and pitch in and take on games or the cake and the this and the that. And I'm taking them up on the offers. Don't get me wrong, but I'm running the ship. I'm not going to go to my sister or my mother-in-law and be like, you are the captain of this ship. You drive this whole shower. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to give to one person. My mom is no longer with us, as we know. So I can't like bully my own mother into doing it like I probably would. So I don't know. It just feels weird being like, hey, mother-in-law, do my whole shower. Bye. Like you got this. Or it feels weird being like, sister, mom of 2, who's really busy getting her kids back to school and stuff, plan my entire shower. Like it's just easier if I do it. Maybe that means I'm a control freak. I don't know. But I will say I'm going to be working with my friend's event planning company called Mostest. Shout out to them. And I'm very excited because I'm going to have a coordinator through that so that I don't have to like do the logistics. You know, I'm not really good at day of logistics. And especially at that point, I'll be like 30 whatever weeks pregnant. So I shouldn't be expected to do day of logistics that pregnant. So I will keep you guys posted on all things baby shower. I am really behind though. It's coming up and like nothing's been done. So that's fun. I'm finding it harder to focus than ever before. Oh, my camera just went off. How do vloggers do the Canon G7X? It lasts for like 5 seconds on a full charge. Are you like, okay, it just died again. Cool, perfect. Going off the iPhone. Like I was saying before I got distracted by my camera, I'm finding it really hard to focus. I'm procrastinating everything. My mind is going a trillion different directions. That's my baseline normally. Pregnant me, 10 times worse. Pregnancy brain is a real thing. I don't know. I saw a stat once that says the woman's brain literally shrinks to like make more room for the baby. I don't know. All my organs are shrinking to make more room for this baby, especially my bladder. Not going to lie, I'm always peeing. Yeah, it's just really hard to like focus. So if anybody has any mechanisms, right now my only mechanism is just like a fat ass to-do list and crossing things off. But I do something in between that all the time. I don't know. Mike's always like, you existing while pregnant is enough. Like, you are growing a baby. Your body is working so hard. Like, stop being so hard on yourself. You shouldn't be expected to function at 1,000% at all cylinders all the time. And I'm like, I know, but it's tough because I want to be. I want to be firing on all cylinders at all times. Maybe that'll be the title of this episode, Firing on All Cylinders. That's the theme of this episode. Like I said, baby moon is coming up. Very excited for that. Other than that, hopefully not too much more travel until this baby's coming, because I don't think I'm physically allowed to after a certain point. Okay, we've officially been talking forever. I'm feeling burnt out. Again, bear with me on these solo episodes. I'm new to this, but I am trying to make them organized for you guys. I'm trying to prep as much as possible so that it's still fun and authentic and not overly produced, but has some structure. Thank you all so much for listening. If you've made it to this point, please rate, review, subscribe, download, etc. Follow on Spotify, all the things. I'm going to have these on YouTube, on the Nicole Pellegrino YouTube channel, I think, which has like 3 followers right now. I'm going to have video available. And yeah, this will be available anywhere you can get your podcasts. I'm doing this from the ground up, really bootstrapping this thing, okay? Be sure to email me at longstoryshortwithnp@gmail.com. I know it's very long, okay? Follow on Instagram at longstoryshortwithnicole. Again, all the handles and emails were taken, okay? Oh, and we never talked about the title and why it's called Long Story Short. Guys, not gonna lie, not much thought went into the title, okay? Long story short is something I say before saying anything in life. My friends all know when I told them the title of this, they were like, well, that's perfect for you. It's just a little thing that I say before I tell a really long story. And I think it just like encapsulates my mind and it encapsulates what this show will be. I didn't want to make the title too niche about one topic because the show isn't going to be too niche about one topic. I wanted to make it fun and on brand for me, which long story short definitely is. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for what the audience members should be called, like the community, I'm all ears because I can't think of anything. But anywho, all right, until next time, love you guys.